For the longest time, I was told not to disparage other financial planning firms. I don't know if there's a law against it per se, and neither did the people who were telling me not to do it. But it was just all I was told that, hey, just leave other firms alone. If you don't like the way that they're doing things, don't say anything about it. Just be who you are and let well enough alone. Everyone has their own way of doing it. It's all kind of equal. It's all just different takes on it. So don't spend any time disparaging other financial services or other financial advising firms. And then I found Bear Brothers Financial Advisors. And if you go to the show for this episode, which is retirementship.com/113, is the 113th episode. So retirementship.com/113, you can see screenshots of this website. There's a link to the website at the bottom of it. But it looks just like any other financial advisor website. I don't know if you've ever looked up financial advisors or try to find one. You can see a bunch of websites, and a lot of them look very similar. A lot of stock images, a lot of the same things. And so this looks a lot like any other financial advising firm. So it's Bear Brothers Financial Advisors, got the logo there, everything up in the top right that you would normally see, on a website. And it says, "We're committed to our success." Right. And then the big banner image has got a picture of a husband and wife, presumably, in white clothing, walking on a beach, and the ocean's crashing on them. And it says over top of it, "Just imagine a future of frolicking on the beach in white clothing." And then it's got a little disclaimer. It says, "Information in past performance is not a guide to future performance. Rest assured, however, that your financial advisor will be frolicking on the beach, spending absolutely no time thinking about you." And then it goes on to describe kind of what they do. It says, "Bear Brothers is determined to drag you through our process. Number one, size you up. The first step is to get to know you and see how we can best use this information to maximize our earnings. Step number two, pass you off. Depending on your net worth, you will either be placed with the next advisor in line or be used as a prize for our most aggressive salespeople. And number three, create a cash cow. Your advisor will help guide you to make the right decisions for Bear Brothers." And then it goes on and shows a bunch of stock images, four of them, of different couples in retirement with women getting piggyback rides from the men. And it says, "An independent survey shows that more of our lady clients get piggyback rides from their husbands than with any other firm." Now, clearly, if you're following along, and if you could see this website, you begin to quickly see that this is not a real firm. Right? This is not a real company, but I just wanted to highlight this kind of just as a joke. Right? We've covered some more intense things, more technical things, or whatever else, and I just wanted to lighten the mood a little bit with this podcast. And so I found this website, and some other firm put this together as a spoof of their competition, of certain firms that are out there. And I just love some of the things that they did. You should, again, check it out for yourself. It's good for a couple of laughs. It then goes on to meet the Bear Brothers teams. It's got the sales manager Jim Jones and a bunch of financial advisors through it, which have pretty hilarious headshots and different. It's got descriptions of each of the firms. So, for instance, one of the financial advisors in this firm is Harry Hirsute, and his description says, "After a record 15 failed attempts at the GED, Harry Hirsute became a Baltimore stockbroker, where his performance earned him a 3 to 5 year vacation. When he got out, he started a series of exciting businesses that would have been hugely successful, but for the challenging business environment, regulatory uncertainty, unfavorable tax treatment, employee turnover, and a number of other factors for which he takes no responsibility. The good news is Harry's back in the investment world with Bear Brothers." Or a description for financial advisor Tim Roswell. "Tim Roswell began his career selling grave sites along the San Andreas Fault. After a series of earthquakes, he transitioned into the Diamond Life Insurance Company, where he specialized in selling premium finance, semi-variable, sort of guaranteed universal life policies with attractive lifetime surrender charges. Although Tim has been in the Bear Brothers compensation penalty box for most of his career, his clients can barely notice the desperation in his voice as he struggles to hit his quarterly sales quotas." And then they've got a few videos, and the real firm that put this together actually hired a bunch of real actors to come play these different parts, and they've got little skits, little 2-minute videos. They're worth watching if you want to just have a couple of laughs. Maybe they're funnier to me because I'm in the industry than they are to you. I don't know, but it's got one where he's focused on the numbers, right? Where he's trying to get the financial advisor, and each time they show the video, the guy will pop up and will say, financial advisors, cross it off, and says salesman. And it's got different videos about how they're focused on selling and smiling and dialing and trying to get the next client, or about how, they fire an old advisor and then they're, giving out to their clients to someone based on the spin of a wheel, or doing due diligence on investments and having someone come in and agree to take the sales manager out and give them a bunch of vacation and all these other things if he'll just recommend their investments to their clients and all these different things. That's all fairly comical. And so, this is not a real firm. It was put together by a real firm as like a spoof website, as a kind of a caricature of different financial advisors. And I don't know enough about this real firm that puts this together to recommend them as another potential financial advising firm you should actually work with. Again, I do, we talk around here about, finding people who are fee-only fiduciary certified financial planners, right? That's kind of our trifecta of things that you should look for. You can find those at feeonlynetwork.com, right? And so there's a lot of really good firms out there that I recommend working with. I know these people are not fee-only, so I don't know about them. They might be still good at it. But I do appreciate their sense of humor and their boldness putting it together and not being afraid to disparage parts of the industry. Right? And because that's the question, I think, when you watch some of these things and you see some of the behind the scenes, backdoor processes that go on in this spoof firm, you do start to wonder, how much of this is true? Like, they're making these spoof videos, but there's always some grain of truth in any caricature, right? There's something that makes the parody actually funny, is that it's slightly attached to what really goes on. And so how much of this is true? And, they say right at the beginning of each video, all characters appearing in this work are fictitious. Any resemblance to real persons living or dead is completely coincidental. And while the characters might be fictitious, the scenarios, however, are not. They could have also put this disclaimer on each video, based on a true story. And because unfortunately, a lot of these things that they comically introduce in these videos actually happen. And they happen in a lot of firms all over the country. And there's a lot of really good firms that I think people should work with. And obviously, clearly, like, my firm can't possibly serve everyone. And so there's, in no way I'm like, hey, everyone else up there is horrible, only work with us, we're the one and only good option. No, there's thousands of great firms, thousands of great advisors, men and women out there who can help people and do a really good job. And then there's this whole other side of the industry that deserves to be exposed. And parody sites like this help expose some of those things. And I want to help expose some of those things, because I think that the supply will follow the demand, right? And as long as the general public doesn't know that these things are happening, they're going to continue to happen. There's certain abuses and certain ways that they take advantage of clients and work in the best. Right away, again, on the spoof website, we're committed to our success. And way too many firms, although they would never say that is their motto. They are committed to their success. They are committed to getting as much money as they can out of their clients and out of their investors as they can, and they're not working in the best interests of the client. And as long as we, as the general public, as citizens, don't know this is going on and are okay working with them, they'll continue to get as much money out of that as they can. But when the public begins to know better and begins to really search for and require fiduciary, require fee only, require some of these things, the good advisors that are out there that are in bad situations will leave those bad firms and join good ones or start good ones. And so next week, I want to share a little bit about my story of going from a bad firm, what I now consider a bad firm. I didn't know any better at the time, but what I consider a bad firm, to where I am now, and that journey of going from where I started to where we are now. And the purpose is just to educate people. And if you don't know better, and maybe you do, great. And maybe other people don't know, and this would be a good resource to share with them. But we need to raise awareness of some of the abuses that are happening out there of firms like Bear Brothers, because there are real firms that are unfortunately very much like Bear Brothers that do operate out there. And so I want to share just real stories. Obviously, I'm going to probably have to anonymize people and anonymize firms and whatnot. I don't really need anyone's legal team coming after me, but to share real stories of things that I saw in these firms and that I know for a fact do happen, and why we should avoid some of these, and why there's a whole section of advisors and firms that people should work with, and a whole host that everyone should avoid at all costs. So I want to share a little bit about that next week. In the meantime, this is just a short episode here to introduce this spoof website. If you go to retirementship.com/113 if you want to see the visuals, see screenshots of the website, watch some of the videos if you want. It's pretty funny stuff. And otherwise, we'll see you next week for some of my story along that way. Hope you're having a great week, enjoying the spring, and we'll see you next week. Cheers. If you enjoyed that, you would love being part of our free membership community. It's called Retire Membership, and it has a host of benefits all for free. For example, you can always buy my book, 3D Retirement Income, on Amazon. But if you join us at Retire Membership, we will send you either a hard copy or paperback for free, provide the ebook and the audiobook so that you can listen to it if you don't have time to read it. In addition to that, we'll also provide you with a bunch of content that you can't get anywhere else. For example, we have our quarterly Retire Mentorship magazine, which comes out quarterly and has no ads whatsoever. It's just timely content to help you stay the course. We also have workbooks for our free online workshop to help you get the most out of those, flowcharts to help you make better decisions, and a weekly email to provide timely content that you can unsubscribe from at any time. We never ask for any payment information, and we never share your information with anyone else. We just want to provide timely content and help you stay the course to retire successfully and stay successfully retired. There's no reason to wait, so join us now at retiremembership.com, where you can click in the link in the description and it'll go right there. We can't wait to see you in the community. Cheers. This podcast is educational only and is not investment, tax, or legal advice.